Morning, friends. Thank you so much for joining on the replay. For those of you that need to find older Periscopes from me, you can find them at catch.me/creatively. Good evening. I feel like it has been absolutely forever. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Erica. Yeah, it's been a long time. I think when I counted today, it's been like a week and a half since the last time that I have periscoped. Hi, Joey. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Janet. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Beth is here too. Holy cow. Yeah, it's been way too long since I've periscoped. But I did want to come on tonight just to kind of catch up. Plus, I know that earlier today, Crystal Payne had talked about my lettering series, and so I wanted to come and, I guess, introduce myself and reintroduce myself to those of you that have been following a while and have wondered where in the world I've disappeared to. So if you read the title of this Periscope, I think, and I'll have to remember now, it was Truth, Consequences, dealing with unmet expectations and finding silver linings in the holiday season. And that pretty much sums up what my past 2 weeks or so have been kind of about. Hi, Jessica. It's nice to see you. For those of you that might be here for the first time, my name is Lisa. I blog at CreativLEI.com, which is looking at life creatively. Oh, thank you, Amber. And so many of you found me in the month of October during my 31 Days to Love Your Lettering series, which is still on the blog for those of you that have just found me recently. It's 31 days of lettering instruction from regular handwriting improvement to creative lettering and calligraphy. It's like an introductory to kind of the whole thing. And all of that is still on the blog. Thank you, Kara. If you just look up 31 Days to Love Your Lettering on the blog. And then those of you that have been with me since then know that November kind of, oh, thank you. November was kind of a tailwind kind of thing where we decided to put our house up on the market because we found the home of our dreams about 20 minutes away in the next town. So we decided the week before Thanksgiving that our house would go up on the market so that we could go under contract on the new house. So that kind of took over November, and into December we've been showing the house a few times a week. We are currently under contract in the next town in our dream home. However, the deadline is tomorrow, and we have not yet received a contract on this house, the sale of this house, and we can't pay for both houses at the same time. So that kind of goes with the unmet expectations of my title. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad that everyone's enjoying the coloring pages. So when we talked about putting our house up on the market, we talked about the sacrifices we would be making and the sacrifices we would be asking our children to make also with a house on the market for the holiday season. We knew that it was going to be a lot for each of us to give up. And where I talk about truth and consequences, it's about kind of coming to the realization of just how much we were giving up for this holiday season. Because I don't think that you really understand all those things until you're kind of knee-deep into it. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's my connection. I've reset the phone and everything and run the updates, but I'm still having kind of spotty connections on Periscope. So Christmas was a little bit hard, I think, for us. It was an awesome season as far as worship and the advent of Christ. However, when it came to our traditions and expectations, that was harder to let go of than I really thought. And it wasn't the children. The children were not disappointed. In fact, they all remarked that it was great. It was great for them. They did not mind that they got less presents. In my profile should be a clickable link to the blog if you head over there after the broadcast is over. But I found myself really, and my husband and I discussed that we had a hard time kind of coming to grips with CreativLEI.com. Coming to grips with kind of wrestling with the value of what we had given up and wondering if it was worth it. Thank you, Beth. Yes, that's correct. Because it kind of hit us, and it hit us hard at that very last minute. We were given, we had a few hours of babysitting from a good friend at church on the 23rd, and that was actually the first time my husband and I got out to do shopping for the children, which was fine because we didn't have a lot to do. We had already talked to them about what gifts would be like this year, and they had been shopping the week before for their, my children. I have 6 children in the home, and they do a Secret Santa exchange between each other. So each of them had the name of another sibling, and they had kind of a wish list and ideas of what they wanted to get. And we had bumped their budget up this year since we knew that we weren't going to be getting them very many gifts. So we bumped their budget up, which was kind of awesome. And so this kind of ties into the silver linings that I talk about. Because shopping with each of the kids and watching them shop for their siblings was really a blessing to us, because it's one thing for us to take their wish lists and to go and, buy them. We usually, typically in other years, we've done the 4 gifts: something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. But this year we weren't going to do that. We were probably only going to give them 1 gift. And then they had what they were buying for siblings for Secret Santa. And so they talked and, got ideas from each other. But then each of them, when they shopped, they really just kind of shopped with what they knew about their siblings. And they spent their money really wisely and ended up getting a lot of stuff for each other. So it just, there was no lack of, gift opening on Christmas morning, but it was just not our normal traditions. Like, typically, I grew up in an Italian-American home, and so Christmas Eve is always the Feast of 7 Fishes, so lots of different fish dishes. And this year we didn't do that. We just didn't have the time. And by the time Christmas came, the budget for the extra groceries just wasn't there, because we've poured a lot of our extra income into preparing the house to try and sell. So we ended up having lasagna. But we had friends over because we have a special family service at church on Christmas Eve. And for the past 2 years, our girls have danced for the service, which has been kind of an awesome blessing for us to watch. Yeah, it is so much fun to watch them give and receive from each other. They did a much better job than Vince or I could have. So that was fine. And so another silver lining that we had is we had our friends over whose daughter danced with our girls, and they have 7 other children as well. Many of you know, because I've talked about them before, baby Zachary is the youngest child of our dear friends. And so we were together on Christmas Eve because our girls all danced for the church service. And so they came back over the house after that, and we had dinner like at 11 o'clock at night. And then, I don't even have my tripod in tonight. It's all in my hands. And so it was like really late, and we were talking because the town that we were hoping to move in is actually where they live. And so they are really praying for us also to move up there as well. And so we were talking about the house, and the kids were all playing in the rooms. We didn't do any exchange of gifts on Christmas Eve. And it was like past midnight. And so Vince and I kind of separately were thinking about it, and then kind of said it out loud at the same time. We said, well, you should just sleep over tonight, and we should go over to your house and get the gifts and just come back over here, and you guys can spend Christmas morning with us. Which anyone who knows us knows that we don't go anywhere on Christmas Day, because we want the children to be able to wake up at home and kind of do that. And all of our family lives out of state from where we are, so it's hard for us to choose between. So we just stay home, and we've built the traditions that we have here. So we surprised the kids with a sleepover of their whole family on Christmas Eve night. And so, at first we weren't sure what they would think of that, because everybody wants to wake up in their own house on Christmas morning, because there's just something about that. And so we went in to, all the boys were hanging out downstairs, and the girls were hanging out in the girls' room upstairs, and we kind of peeked in, and we told the boys, we were like, why don't you go ahead and grab some of the sleeping bags from up in the attic? And their eyes lit up. They looked at us. They were like, are you serious? We were like, yep, go do that. And so they went into the girls. They were like, everybody's sleeping over. They're sleeping over. And so their oldest son said, I overheard him say, he's like, oh, this is awesome sauce. And I said, you know what? It kind of trumped anything that we were worried about. We were worried about, well, what will it look like as far as opening gifts? Will anybody be envious of the others? Like, we knew we were not doing a whole lot of Christmas gifts this year, and they've had a great blessing this Christmas, so they were going to have more than they normally have. And I said, you know what? I don't think it's going to matter. I think that this memory that we're giving them is going to be something that way outweighs anything that will be kind of opened up under the tree or not opened up under the tree. I said, so let's just do it. So they brought the sleeping bags down, and then she and I drove to her house and got all their gifts packed up and came back to our house, and it was awesome. Like, I haven't posted a picture yet, but like, I have a picture of like all their gifts on the hearth, because we didn't even put up a Christmas tree this year. Those of you that have been following, you kind of know that. We didn't buy a Christmas tree this year. That was one of our traditions that we decided to hold off on. We always go and cut down a tree, but I did not want to kind of wrestle with falling needles through trying to keep the house ready for showings. So we didn't do a tree. We just have kind of like a waist-high pre-lit tree from the craft store. There's really nothing special. And so we just lined up the gifts on the hearth of the fireplace, and our kids had their stockings. And Christmas morning was awesome, and nobody counted presents or anything like that. They enjoyed each other's company so much. Hi Sarah, hi Tina. Sorry, I'm probably getting a little rambly now because it's been so long since I've talked with you all. And so it just kind of struck me that we had given up a lot of our normal holiday season for the sake of doing this, for selling the house and trying to buy the new home. And so we knew we had given up a lot, and we had done so by choice. It's not by necessity, but it's by choice. And so we're kind of reaping the consequences of those actions in some ways, but God is still blessing us with lots of silver linings that have just been amazing. And our kids have been kind of on cloud nine since then, and they're still talking about it. They're like, we never thought you would do something like that. That was so cool. And it was awesome. And, we had monkey bread for breakfast in the morning because that was one of the traditions that the kids asked that we make sure that we do that. And we made a big egg casserole because that's what we had on hand. So we ended up, there was 14 children here on Christmas morning, and us 4 adults. And it was awesome. And I kind of wouldn't trade it for anything, though I do miss a lot of the normal traditions that we have. And so that's kind of how Christmas went down. And that was awesome. And I wanted to share that all with you. But I will tell you that I have tried to get on Periscope since December 26th. And every time I tried to get on even before Christmas, but it's been difficult because overall, when I look at this picture, I see kind of the disappointments of what's gone on along the way. I think we went into the whole house buying thing very hopefully and wide-eyed and really looking forward to what God would have if He would move us. And as this process has gone on, and with the deadline kind of looming tomorrow, and we still don't have a contract, it's been hard to say that maybe that's not God's will. Maybe right here in this home is exactly where we need to be. And this home is not ideal. It was not built for 8 people. The property is not big enough. The rooms are not big enough. But this may be exactly where God has us. And we are and we will be okay with that if that is. And, it's funny because everyone will say, well, God knows what he's doing, and if he's going to say no to this, then it's because he's going to say yes to something better. And I understand that, and I appreciate that. But if you know my story and you know our history and what our faith looks like, we know that God says no sometimes just because it's his right to say no, and it's not because he has something better. When my daughter passed away, I truly don't believe that that was because he had something better in store for us. It's because that was his will, and we've learned to live with that, and we embrace the blessings that he's given us in spite of that loss. And so if he's closing the door on the house thing, of course, in perspective of that, it's something so minor. But that's just kind of the faith lessons that we've had, is that it's okay. It's okay and it's survivable when he closes the doors, even on the things that our heart most strongly desires. Even if we think it's fully in line with what could or would be his will, it is okay and it's survivable, and, we'll take it a step at a time and a day at a time. But it's been hard to kind of put all those thoughts into words to get on here and share with you all, because I want to come on and give good news. I want to show packing boxes and moving in day and all of that stuff, because I know how many of you are praying for us and have kind of followed along this journey so eagerly. And so there's a big part of me that wants to share all the happy. But the reality is just not always all that happy. And so tomorrow is our deadline, and we'll meet with the real estate agent. If we get a contract tomorrow, it's possible, but it may not be, and that will be okay. We are going to request a 3-week extension on that contract in hopes that maybe now that we're on the other end of holidays, that maybe it will be a little easier to show the house. Sorry, I still have a 2.5-year-old awake. Oh, you dropped your bolly. But after that, we will probably take the house off the market, because trying to keep a house market ready with 8 people living in it is next to impossible. It really is. And it's kind of wearing on all of us, because the stress level is super high, and keeping a house ready is just not great for all of us. Thank you, Robin. So that's kind of where we are. So I've got a lot of, good stuff to share with you guys, because I really am looking forward to 2016. 2015 has been such a blessing to me. Oh, congrats, Gwen. I'm glad. I'm not really a pro football watcher. We watch college football. So I was really excited to kind of get to know you all in the fall of 2015. And so I am really looking forward to 2016 and kind of growing with you and sharing more with you, because I really feel like all of you have helped me find and establish my voice more. And so there's so much more that I want to share with you. Doing the 31 days of lettering was really, really awesome. And so signing her onto the iPad. So it's fun to just kind of move forward in this creative journey with you all, and kind of introducing you to skills that you didn't think that you had, but we can grow them together. So that's probably all I have for now. If you guys have any questions for me, now would be a great time to put them in. If you want to get in contact with me outside of Periscope, I'm so glad that you love them. I think I took pictures of all of them because my sister wants one of those also. I do have a blog. My blog is CreativLEI.com. It's looking at life creatively. Oh, thank you, Erica. Yeah, I've chatted with Erica a bunch on Voxer, letting her know, I need to scope and I just can't. So it's hard. You've made Traveler's Notebook to hold composition books. That is awesome. I've talked to my 2 homeschooled children about doing that. And you're going to scope tomorrow about the journal that you got. That's awesome. I've had so much fun creating for you guys this fall. Thank you so much for those of you that ordered before Christmas. I know I have Gigi's journals to go out this week, and I think one other that didn't need to go out before Christmas. Yeah, so this is me, and it's been so long, and I just want to thank you guys all for kind of sending me messages on the different places. If you need to find me on Instagram and Twitter, I am at CreativLEI. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CreativLEI, and you can kind of send me messages anywhere, and I usually try and get on those fairly quickly. I'm still digging out of emails, but trying to get all the regular messages responded to. So I hope you guys all had a wonderful Christmas, and that New Year's is kind of looking bright to you also, because I know I'm looking forward to it. I love the idea of the reset of the new year, even though it really isn't like, it's not some big momentous thing. I mean, sure, the crystal ball drops in Times Square, but the reality is that life kind of is the same on both ends of that crystal ball. Oh no, Gwen, I don't think that I did. The new challenge that I'm participating in. Okay, on Instagram I came across Lettering League, which has just started as a community of those that are interested in lettering. There is a Facebook group if you'll search for Lettering League, and all that information, I believe I tagged Lettering League on the post that I wrote. It's not necessarily a challenge directly from me. I'm just going to participate as a letterer. I'm still working on what our next challenge will be together. My turnaround on the journals, it depends. If it is it's a fully hand-painted journal, they take about a week to 2 weeks because I need to let the layers dry between. If it's just the lettering, I can usually get that out within a week. You got into it today? Awesome! Yes! So I'm sure I will see lots of familiar faces over there. I'm looking forward to see what their challenges are. I did get a planner from Target just to do, I don't know if I'll do lettering challenges or what in it, but it's just, I'll show you. So this is the Sugar Paper LA, just the monthly planner that I found at Target. So I won't use any of this stuff because I already have lots of planners, but I thought I would use just the monthly for the letter it January, letter it February type things. It is not great quality, just to be honest with you. It feels like printer paper, which means probably a lot of my pens may bleed. There isn't a couple note pages that I'll do some pen testing on. Yeah, no, I'll be totally honest with you. This is Sugar Paper LA, and it's available at Target. It was $6.99, so it's not, I wasn't expecting high quality, but it's going to be good just for the daily challenges. So I thought that would be nice to have on my desk. So that's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions, feel free. You want a journal just to letter in? Yeah, well, I do. The one that I showed earlier tonight on the start of the broadcast. So this is just a blank dot grid journal that I use for lettering quotes and kind of encouragement things. And it's funny, I started from the middle and worked back, and now I'm starting in the front and working to the middle. So there you go. Good lettering books. Yes, if you go onto the blog and then search the, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it is a lefty thing, I think. Lister's Got a List. I have done it in the past, and I have not done it every month since. I will have to see if I'll jump in again. I really enjoyed it, but I did not get into like the full scrappy version of it because mostly I'm just about the lettering. I'll do a little bit of decor, but mostly I just like writing. It's weird. I kind of separate those disciplines from each other. And so, like, to keep focused on, and focus is my 2016 word of the year. So to keep focused on those projects, I do kind of separate them out a bit. Gwen, I need to answer your question. And now I completely lost it. I'm so sorry. Oh, lettering book recommendations. It was one of the final posts in the Love Your Lettering series. One of the final posts listed a bunch of books that I have used or actually own or borrowed from the library, books that I have actually placed in my hands to look over them that I would recommend, and why certain books, like what kind of things that they covered. My computer is not open right now. Let me check it. But I think the post is something like my favorite book recommendations or something like that. But it's one of the last ones in the series. So if you go to the 31 Days to Love Your Lettering index page, you will find that towards the bottom. And it's got like links to, it's got affiliate links that if the books are on Amazon. I think there are a few that might be out of print, but you could probably look for those at the library. Yeah. And the difference between the lefty instruction from a righty, it's all about how you compensate for pen hold. And like I've shown in the videos, and you can see all of the videos embedded in the previous scopes of the lettering series, I hold my pen. It depends on the pen type, how I hold it, but I do not hook my hand or anything like that. And a lot of that kind of learning, yeah, I do hold it like a right-handed also. It's like a mirror image of the right-handed is how I hold it, I think, at least. So, yeah, for the books, I like the books because I'm not looking at someone else's pen grip. I'm just looking at the letter form, and then I can learn how to compensate how I'm holding the pen or pencil to make up for that. And so there's, you know, lots of good books. Okay, the title is Helpful Books for Lettering is the title of that post. So that's all I have. I'm going to head upstairs and make sure the children are in bed, because from the sounds of it, there are still lots and lots of feet running through the hallway. So thank you guys all for hanging in there, for checking on me, because I know I've been missing in action, and I have missed you guys. So I'm hoping to get back to a more regular routine of coming on for Periscope. So while I think about things to kind of share with you guys nightly, because I like to share something that, you know, is instructional, make your time here valuable. So it's been great to chat with you, and I will see you all soon. Have a great night.